my end.
Great stuff. James from Overtime Heroics joined you today with one half of the newly signed brothers to the UFC, Orion Cosce. How's that feel, mate? UFC fighter.
Yeah, I feel good, man. It feels good to be known as the UFC fighter Orion Cosce, not just MMA fighter Orion Cosce. A lot of people I talk to, when you talk to them about, yeah, I'm an MMA fighter, they'll, you're in the UFC, and it's like, no, I'm just an MMA fighter. But nowadays, they'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm in the UFC. So it feels really good, man. All that hard work, everything just being put towards it. It feels really good to have that title now, but that's just the beginning. That's a stepping stone. It's still time to continue to work hard and be ready to move forward.
For sure. And I mean, you secured your contract in a convincing way as well. As you said, I mean, you promised it wasn't going to the judges, and that's exactly what you came up with. So talk us through that fight. How do you feel it went? Is there anything you felt could have been better? Was you completely happy with everything? Well, talk us through how you felt going through the fight.
I was upset about the first round. I got taken down 3 times. I'm a wrestler. Obviously, I shouldn't be taken down. But I look back at the fight, and I can't say I was really disappointed. I didn't give up on anything. The only, he was really strong in the first round. He was athletic. But I feel like I did a good job of hitting him. When he took me down, I would hit him on the way of me standing up. And I feel like I did a good job of wearing down his body, wearing down his arms. I knew that if I set my pace and went to how I wanted to fight, that he would start to break early on. He got 3 takedowns early. The one takedown he had against the cage, it was a great takedown. I looked at it, I was like, fuck, that's something I use. And I showed that in the third round. I did the exact same thing he did. But I capitalized on my takedown, whereas he didn't. He used it to try to hold on, to think he was going to wear me down. But I don't wear down as the fight goes on. I only get stronger and stronger. And it's a weird thing, man, because of the fact that I pushed the pace of the fight. I dictate how the fight's pace is going to go. And we saw that in the fight. He would hit me with his best shots, and after he's done, I was like, all right, cool, fuck, let's go. And I kept marching forward. So to him, he's probably thinking, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I had people hit me up though. Dude, you're like the Terminator out there. It's cool to see. You're like the real life Goku. You get hit, but you keep pushing forward until you defeat the villain. I was like, that's pretty cool to hear. But first round, it kind of pissed me off that he took me down 3 times. And going into the second round, I was like, he won't take me down again. Your eyes up. We can't have that happen. I straight up told my corners right before they started putting the camera on us. I was like, he won't take me down again. It's not fucking happening. I was pretty pissed. But then I just told myself, let's not go in there thinking I'm down. I went into the second round knowing I had to make up that round or get the finish. And, I feel like I did a good job in the second round. He had me against the cage, but he wasn't doing much with it. I was the one throwing the strikes. I outstruck him in the second round. I hit him with the harder shots, and every time he went for a takedown, I stuffed it. When he wanted to hold me against the cage, I let him because I knew he'd wear down his arms. And he's supposed to be the striker, so he's supposed to have the better cardio. He's supposed to have the better stand-up. But I feel like overall, in the second and third round, I made those proper adjustments with the fight IQ to be able to be like, hey, I know I'm going to finish him now. Second round, I didn't tell myself I'm going to finish him this round. It was the third round where I told my corners as soon as they came to me, and I was like, he's done. I broke his will. I'm going to finish him. And that's exactly what I did. I turned the fight around. He had me on the cage. He went for that desperate takedown after I landed a combo. He tried to take me down. I didn't let him. I started hitting him. I'm looking at Mark Goddard like, hey, he's just holding me there. And even Goddard, he was like, if you want off the cage, get off the cage. And it's weird because I have this thing of like, all right, fuck you, I will. And I grabbed him, and then I moved him off the cage, and I put him on the cage, and I got the takedown. And it's weird how I do that shit, but it was like, all right, fuck you, I will. And then that led to the finish, topside crucifix, just wanting to get the finish. I don't respect judges because of the fact that most judges, they don't respect the fighters in the same sense that most fighters respect fighters. So I'll never leave it to the judges. If it does go to the judges, it means I did my job wrong. It means I didn't get the finish. So it means that my opponent did their job at surviving the however many rounds the fight goes.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously leading up to the finish, you hit him with quite a sizable slam. Was that something you was planning at the time? Did you sort of see the opening to do it, or did you just go with it and made the most of the opportunity?
No, I don't think when I fight. That's one thing. I don't think when I fight. I just let my body do its thing. The only time where I'm looking at Mark Goddard, I'm like, he's just holding me here. He's all, if you want off the cage, and I just remember thinking, all right, fuck that, fuck you, and then I just stopped thinking. I don't think when I fight though. That's one thing I don't do. I don't think when I fight. When he took me down, I was like, just get up. But it was natural. It was like, get up, and I started getting up. I work up. I'm working through the motion. Second round, I'm setting up my shots. That way, I can try to force him to try to take sloppy shots and wear himself out, because I know it's tiring for people to try to shoot on someone or to try to take someone down and not get that takedown. And then obviously that third round, he goes for that desperate takedown. He doesn't get it. We go against the cage. I reverse the position. But that is something I thrive in, is not thinking about my fight. And that's why I'm able to take, the punches, the kicks, the elbows, and stuff like that. I didn't feel anything till after the fight. But during the fight, I'm not sore. I don't feel nothing. I'm like, I'm going to finish this, man. And that's why people are like, dude, you have like that Terminator thing. It's like, you don't do much. It's like, I've been in battles before. And people are like, hey, man, you don't even look like you took any damage. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then, like, the next day, I'm like, fuck, I'm so sore. But the soreness only lasts a couple of days. Usually whatever damage I get, it's because I accumulated it myself from throwing hard. My elbows were sore, and maybe that's from him kicking and checking those kicks, but it also could have been from the elbows I threw. It could have been from a multitude of things. But everything recovered fast. I recover fast because I stay healthy, I work hard, and I truly believe that living a healthy fitness life makes it to where you're able to recover and go on a lot faster.
Well, it sure looks that way anyway. I mean, you obviously went into the fight. I found it quite surprising, to be honest. I mean, obviously, you were 6-0 at the time. He was 9-0. He was quite an overwhelming underdog on the actual ranking going into the card. How did that feel for you? Did that give you the motivation you really needed to go out there and prove that point of like, don't count me out like that again?
Oh man, I mean, you heard my emotion after the fight. One thing I heard from not just my opponent, and no disrespect to him. Again, he is a very humble fighter. We both had to talk in ways that we knew, we talk in a sense that we've trained hard. We don't believe anyone is going to beat us. But, he said there's levels to this. And that's why I yelled, there's levels. There's levels to this. Because I actually took offense to that. And I'm like, this guy's saying I'm not on his level. All right, let's go. And I heard the ESPN analyst saying that, Orion Cosce is just not on his level. And so after the fight, I'm walking out of the cage. I turn around, I'm like, yo, where's that motherfucking ESPN analyst? Where's he at? Underdog who? Who's the underdog? And then I heard that they didn't even bring him back out for the rest of the fights. And so I was like, cool. I did my job. I went, I proved that this guy was wrong, because he said both Cosce brothers were going to lose. He said, bet on it. It's easy money. And I went out there, I did my job. And then my brother went out there and he did his job. And it felt good. It felt good to doubt the naysayers. A lot of people being like, Cosce has no chance. He hasn't fought the same competition. He's not going to have the same gas tank. He doesn't have the same striking. But when I went out there, who imposed their will on the stand-up? When it came to the second round after the takedowns, people were probably thinking like, oh, there's going to be a one-sided fight. But then he wasn't able to get those takedowns. And then people started to see, wait, this fight is not going how I thought it was. And then the third round, I imposed my will after I broke him in the second. Or so I thought I broke him in the second, because he went for a desperate takedown right off the bat after, going for a combination of my own to start the third. And that's when I knew. I already knew going into the third, I broke him enough to where he was going to get desperate for a takedown. I knew if I stuffed that takedown, the fight was mine and I'd be able to get the finish.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you did. Obviously, I believe it was the post-fight interview. You was asked about turnaround times, and you said that both yourself and your brother was ready to go. I think it was by the next event. Is that something that's been spoken about since? Have sort of you and Dana been in contact with when you can actually get in there and show yourself a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, Legally, I guess I can because NSAC doctors, they put me on a 30-day suspension with 21 no contact, but I'm waiting for a phone call on Tuesday for them to call me and be like, hey, man, how are you feeling? I'm going to tell them straight up, I'm healthy, I'm training, I'm ready to go. Give me a fight before my wedding. I want to fight again on September 19th. I'd love to fight on that card. And if I can't, then I want to fight again at the end of October. But either way, man, I have a wedding coming up. I'm trying to get some more money. I want to get another fight off my belt. Um, but at the end of the day, I want to fight at least 2 or 3 more times before the end of the year. So if I don't get to fight on September 19th, then I definitely want to fight again at the end of October. That gives me a month after the wedding for full prep. And obviously, I'm going to try to look good and be feeling good and healthy for the wedding. And then, hopefully they give me that Halloween card. I heard they have a fight on Halloween. If I can get on that card to be excited. They're looking possibly maybe early November. So that gives me a possibility of 2 or 3 fights because if I fought, Halloween, then I can fight at the end of November, maybe right before Thanksgiving. Because let's face facts, man, no one likes to fucking cut weight. And then you have to hear like you're fighting after Thanksgiving, so you're watching all your family and friends eat, and you're just sitting there like that kid who fucking deserves to be on the street or something. Like I'm not saying kids deserve to be on the street. Don't misconstrue that, people. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're watching all your friends eat, and you're like that little wrestler kid who's like, "Fuck you guys, fuck your family." Like I'm not thankful for shit. But no, it'd be fun, man. Fight Halloween, fight maybe on the third week of November, right before Thanksgiving, and then I want to get one more fight right before Christmas, or maybe even right after Christmas. Get 2 or 3 fights before the end of the year. Start burning through my contract and get those bigger paydays, the bigger fights, the bigger names.
Yeah, for sure. Some exciting times you coming forward, definitely. Last thing I want to sort of look at them before we go. Again, I think it was the post-fight interview. A comment was made about you sort of called out a couple of fighters for being fake.
All of them.
What sort of set that going? Was there something that triggered you on that, or was you just saying your piece and how you felt?
Nah, someone was asking me in one of the interviews said, like, you said a lot of fighters are fake motherfuckers, and I was like, yeah, because they are. I mean, let's face facts. A lot of fighters nowadays, they'll say stuff on social media. They'll say all sorts of things on social media, right? But then once that fighter is face to face with their opponent, they don't say anything. They just say, hey, man, good luck. I wish you nothing but the best. It's like, where was that same humble fighter who was on social media talking all that smack? I ain't about that life. I ain't down for that. I'll whoop someone. I'll whoop ass in front of the cameras, in front of the UFC. The person who's only got one shot. They can talk crap about me. That's fine. But don't bring up friends, family, politics. When it comes to politics, I really don't care. In the United States, we have to vote between one pedophile or the other right now. So obviously our politics are kind of skewed. But when it comes to fighting, don't bring up someone's family, man. Don't bring up their, friends, kids, stuff like that. Don't bring up, parents. Don't bring up any of that stuff. Don't bring up religion. That doesn't matter. Just be a good person. Be a humble person. We're going into these fights. If you need to be the person that thinks, oh, I need to make this person sound the worst possible in order to fight them, then you're just hyping yourself up for the wrong reasons. Whereas I'm just going into these fights thinking, hey, man, I grew up angry. I grew up mad. And I just want to fight. I enjoy it. I love it. I just want to beat people up and get paid for it. It's the legal way of doing it. But if you've ever heard me in my fights, I've always talked about, I truly believe I'm going to get the finish, but I've never talked smack about my opponents. I've never talked bad about them. I don't talk about what their family, what religious beliefs they have, what their ethical stances are on things. I don't talk about any of that stuff because at the end of the day, that's not why I'm fighting them. I'm fighting them because I want to prove I'm the strongest, I'm the best. I have that Goku method of fighting, man. It doesn't matter. You can be a bad person. I just want to fight who the best person is just to show that I'm the baddest person in the world.
Great stuff. What I'd like to finish off on then is we had a prediction last time. You came through on it. Let's have another prediction. where are you going to be at the end of the year?
In the UFC or overall with the record or both? Let's see. The UFC, I'm hoping to have at least, like I said to you, 2 or 3 fights. So that means 2 or 3-0. 2 fights, 3 fights, undefeated in the UFC. I plan on staying undefeated for a long time. I don't ever plan on losing. Anyone who ever thinks going into a fight, man, there's a possibility I'll lose, that's a loser mentality. You don't go into a sport event thinking there's a real possibility we'll lose. If you've already done that, then you've lost the battle already. I go into every single fight thinking I'm going to win. It doesn't matter what adversity I deal with, how much it hurts. I will dig deep and I will be the victor. And that's a winner's mentality. A lot of people don't like it because you know what? A lot of people are losers. But not me, man. I'm a winner. My brother's a winner. And we surround ourselves with winners. And I honestly think the world would be a better place if people surrounded themselves with winning mentality. It just helps. You know, if you're always going into work thinking today's going to be a bad day of work, but guess what? The day is going to be bad for you at work. But you go into work thinking, man, today's going to be a great day. You know, I'm working for a promotion. I'm going to make it to where I advance in my ranking. If I can't advance here at this job, I'm going to use this job to advance for another job. That's the mentality people need to have. They need to have that winning mentality, that I believe in myself mentality. And I think a lot of people would be better off if they started to believe in themselves more.
Yeah, definitely that positive thinking factor, really, innit? Well, look, Orion, really appreciate you doing this with us today. I, for one, definitely look forward to seeing you and your brother's fights coming up. It's going to be exciting, that's for sure. I hope you get those 2 to 3 fights you're looking for by the end of the year, and definitely look forward to catching up again.
Awesome. I look forward to it, man. And as soon as I get fight news, he'll be one of the first people to know.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Orion. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
Mate, thank you very much.
Thank you.